This video is not about convincing you guys to stop drinking. In fact, this is just for my subscribers. I want you guys to know what I've been up to recently. And if you guys are new here, you're gonna hear a little bit of my backstory. You're gonna have to go back a good 10 years, back to when I was deployed with the Army in Afghanistan. For the longest time, I probably haven't drank before because when I got home from Afghanistan, it would have been, around the end of February 2012. What do you think we did? We celebrated, we had drinks, and then you kind of get back going with life and you start buying properties, and I buy a triplex and I start living for free, and I've covered that on this channel many times. You guys can go back and watch the video about my triplex, but of course, have some drinks. And then fast forward, I become a real estate agent, and that requires a lot of drinking because that's what I thought a real estate agent was supposed to do. It's supposed to dress well and go to social events and have drinks and close deals. And to an extent, that was what being a real estate agent was, at least for me. And it was what I found a lot with success. You'd do a deal, you'd have drinks, and everything was good. All right, so if you go forward right now, we're in the pandemic, and the first part of the pandemic hits, and no one knows what's going on, and we think the world's ending. What do? You pour a drink. And I was doing that, and I was still successful in my real estate business, no problem, but we're kind of just stuck at home, and that's a bit of the problem. I would be having a drink at the end of the day, almost like every day at the end of the last pandemic. In the winter months in Canada, it's just not great to be drinking indoors all day long. You're just not getting enough exercise. You're not outside. The summer hits and we kind of get back to normal and we start having more patio drinks and life is good and we're doing deals and we're wearing expensive watches and everything's cool. And drinking has always been such a, something that's in my blood. Like it's just part of what I am. I love James Bond movies. So, he's always having a vodka martini and, I live in Canada. So there's always hockey. So if you're at the hockey game, you might have a beer. It's always kind of in our society. It's kind of ingrained. And I just never really thought I could take a big break, like 100-day break. Probably throughout time I took, 7 days off here and there, but never really like some regiment of not doing it. And let's be honest, if there was ever bad things that happened in my life, likely alcohol was involved. And I think a lot of you guys watching this video, you're probably in the same boat where alcohol probably played a factor with your bad decisions. And it's not like I don't make any mistakes anymore right now, but obviously they're not related to alcohol, which is good because you're more in control. So what happens, like anybody, January 1st is coming and I decide, okay, let's do a pause on drinking and let's do the January 1st, New Year's resolution. Let's do 30 days or 31 days, the month of January, no drinks. And, I hate New Year's resolutions. I would rather start on Boxing Day or December 1st because I just don't like that you have to wait for the calendar to change. Like I just never have been that person. I've just always wanted to, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So January 1st comes and you wake up with a medium-sized headache from the night before of collecting all those rent checks right at midnight from all your tenants. But I wake up with a bit of a hangover and I decide, okay, I'm done for now. And all I really tried to do was make it to the end of that day and the next day. And I hope I'm not an alcoholic, but it was just something to do. Like you're having dinner, you have a glass of wine and all that jazz, but I just wanted to take a break. So I was doing this. You get through the first week of January and okay, I'm okay, but you still want a drink just because there's nothing to do. That's the problem. It's the boredom of being in the pandemic and we have a lot of stay-at-home orders where I am right now. There's just nothing to do. So it would just be horrible to be stuck at home and always drinking. So I tried to not drink and focus on work. So what happens when I started focusing more on work? I was successful, no problem before, but now I'm like laser focused on what I want to do. And right now, of time of filming, we are in mid-April. So in January, I decide, let's get focusing on work and let's get some deals. We're not gonna have excuses of my head hurts in the morning. And what happens is I start really working towards getting more real estate for my corporation, but also helping out my clients. Now the difference is, in the past, as a real estate agent, somebody would come to me and say, I wanna buy a house. And then I'd work very hard to help them out. And also I'd have people come to me and they say, I wanna sell my house. And I'd work very hard to help them sell their house. That was like I'm sitting back and waiting for my brand, my social media brand, to have people reach out to me to say, hey Jeff, I want you to do something. And then I would do it extremely fast and I think extremely well. But the problem is you got to wait around till those people actually ask you to do something. Yes, the brand helped a lot. But the difference is in 2021 right now, I started hunting and I started really looking for deals online and bringing them to the clients that I know could close on the deals and bringing them to my own corporation that I knew could close on the deals. And this has been a major turning point. And I think it has a lot to do with just leaving the booze alone, because we're in like the worst storm in 100 years of this pandemic, stuck at home. You just don't want to be drinking every day. So I start finding these deals, and all of a sudden I start putting up some pretty good numbers on the board. In January, I was able to firm up $37,000 in commission. Not too bad, right? People make that annually sometimes, that kind of a salary, and I put that on the board in 1 month. So 2021, starting off really good, make $37,000. I do have a course called How to Make $100,000 as a Real Estate Agent in Your First Year of Being a Real Estate Agent. It's a $500 course. Since you're still watching this, I will link it down below. It's absolutely free to you guys because you're watching this video, because I like to give back. So go ahead and grab that course. So that's about making $100,000 in your first year being a real estate agent. In this January, I did $37,000 in that month. So now we get into February. I actually did it, okay? I didn't have a drink in January. Mission accomplished. Do I have a drink on February 1st? I didn't. I don't know why. It's just, there was nothing really to, I don't know. There's just no, I was going to start drinking in the middle of the first. Was I going to drink at the nighttime of the first? There was no really tipping point of when I wanted to celebrate. Probably because we're not out at the restaurants a lot right now, at all. And there's just nobody I really wanted to crack open a bottle of champagne. And I got a parent now, so it's not as fun just to get sloshed at home as it might have been in my past, especially my army days and all that. So just didn't. And what I say, let's put another $50,000 on the board for February, because January's goal was to actually do $50,000. I failed. So I said, let's do $50,000 in February. And I just started working my butt off again in February. And I ended up doing $49,000 firmed up deals. Some of them might still be trying to close right now, but I like just to take what I'm doing within the month and try to do a lot of action so it produces money. And every day I write a little calendar out of if I've made $0 that day or I made $10,000 that day. And what constitutes that is if I firm up a real estate transaction. It may or may not close, but the ceremony of actually going through it and tracking it actually really helps me out to put the numbers on the board. So $49,000 for February. I get through all of February. It's a short month, by the way, 28 days. So that one was pretty easy. And I just didn't feel the need to have a drink just because I had no one to celebrate with, really. Yes, my wife and I could have drinks, but I just didn't really want to, again, wake up and parent the next day with a headache, stuck at home. It's not like you get to go out, go to the gyms or anything like that. You're stuck here. So just never did. And one time I heard a buddy say, well, oh yeah, we used to never drink back in the day. We took all the way till St. Patrick's Day off. So I started saying, you know what? I'm going to go all the way to St. Patrick's Day, and I'm not going to have a drink till St. Patrick's Day. I was like, oh, it's only 17 more days. And March comes, and I have a bigger goal in March. I said, you know what? I was being a bit of a wimp, only trying to put $50,000 on the board in March. Let's do $100,000. And I have a video on this channel. We'll link it up above. And I ended up doing $190,000 firmed up commission in March. Absolutely insane. Blows my mind. And I'm like, okay. And I'm scared to say this on the video because it's like, is this like the direct correlation of not having alcohol and then putting $190,000 on the board in March? Please tell me, if I have one drink right now, I could still do something like that in the future, right? So we'll see. Let me know down below, but hopefully not. And so then again, St. Patrick's Day comes, and you're like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Drink a green beer by myself here? It just didn't seem fun to do it, and I just didn't. And all of a sudden, it's March 18th, and I'm like, well, I might as well keep going. And can I get to the end of March? And I thought, okay, well, maybe I can do 100 days. And so eventually get to the end of March. You already done 190,000 in commission in March, and we get, now we're into April right now as the time of filming. And I ended up doing 100 days of no drinking. That was around April 5th, 6th, or something like that. Wizards can comment down below if I made that a mistake there. But that was about 100 days, and I'm like, okay, 100 days. All right. Didn't have any drinks. Did I start drinking on the 100th day? Again, there was just nothing that I really needed to celebrate. But I did have things to celebrate, which is the weirdest thing. Because in April, I put up so far we're only mid through the month right now. I had some pretty big deals. So we got to go back a little bit within those months of not drinking as well too. And thank you for still sticking around. But my corporation ended up going under contract with a 24 unit building, a 29 unit building, and 76 units portfolio. So that gets me to 129 units, and those all had commissions attached to it, and that's why a lot of these numbers are extremely high. Now take the 76 units for example. That one has a $200,000 commission attached to that deal. I did a $200,000 deal. Army guy Jeff sitting on YouTube talking to you guys right now. Absolutely blows my mind. I would go overseas to Afghanistan for 6 to 8 months to make $60,000, and I just did a $200,000 deal with the same 7 pieces of paper that we always use to buy any property. Just blows my mind. I'm like, okay, should I just like keep this non-drinking streak going right now? We'll see, like maybe, because right now in April, I have about 220,000, 230,000 of firmed up commission right now. And I'm on pace for $1 million in commission. And if you're kind of new to this channel, most of my stuff's investors. Like I'm not, gouging homeowners on commissions on their houses or something like that. My stuff's investors. Investors know their money and they don't mind paying agents a portion of it so far. So taking advantage of that and making a lot of money. And I'm just focused every single day, just focus rather than, and I think a lot of it too is I don't have to go to a restaurant. Nobody's telling me, hey, do you want to go meet for lunch today? And like those lunches are important to meet up with your friends and meet up with clients. But it just wasn't moving the needle a lot before. And what do you do at those lunches? You have a drink and you have a sandwich and you have a salad, whatever you have. And then maybe you're tired because you had a midday martini lunch or something. Just kind of like you don't go research. And since I'm actually focused on finding deals like every day, and even my assistant Mazen, he's out looking for deals for me right now at all times. We're just hungry. We're finding them. We write a commission statement and send them in. Either my clients buy them and I get paid, or my corporation buys them and I get paid. So it's just been fantastic. Now I will be having drinks, no problem. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, to do it while I'm still on the streak right now. Because, I don't need to keep going. I can have a social drink here and there. But we are in another lockdown. So it's like, and basically, I tried to make it to my daughter's birthday in April without having a drink, and I had plans. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to have champagne on my daughter's birthday. But then I'm like, what am I going to do? Just like drink champagne while my daughter's running around eating cake? Like, that's just stupid, because like there's nobody around. Like, we have to parent again. So I don't know. I have my son's birthday on May 25th, so maybe I have to wait around until then. But who knows, because the current pandemic, the current stay-at-home order that I'm in is for May 20th. So maybe then we can get some real life and have a drink, but I don't know. I might have one. Sorry about if this is a little bit about me, but it is my channel. But thank you guys for sticking around. Hopefully you've heard a little bit of my craziness and what has actually been going on. Yeah, this is me sober, sorry. But I just wish that this will continue on. And, it's been good. Obviously, there's all the health benefits of not having a drink for 100 days that I'm sure my body needed after a decade of having vodka martinis, shaken, not stirred, constantly. But I do miss a little bit of that nightlife. I am a member of the London Club, so there was always those business connections that could happen there. But for the reasons I stated earlier, I'm better off just researching a lot of data on my computer about properties and purchasing those properties rather than networking. But we all know networking is great. And I'm thankful for all the years before the pandemic to be where I'm at now to do this, because I think if you were just starting to do this, it would be extremely difficult. If it wasn't for all of my connections before, there's no way I'd ever make this happen. And lastly, I have been producing a lot more content on the channel. Again, it's just because I can, and I didn't have midday drinks, and I can turn the camera on at midnight, and it's okay to shoot the video, But what I really want to do, if 10 years from now, look back and say, I actually used this pandemic wisely. I didn't just watch Netflix every single night and crack a beer and crack a whiskey, do whatever after a long day. And I've done some big real estate transactions, and nobody would fault me for having a few drinks here and there. And I'm sure you're watching a drink and you're still watching this, you're probably ready to drink right now because I just won't be quiet on this video. But I'm just really glad I used it so wisely. And sorry for the rant video. I just kind of wanted to come off pretty raw and real in this video. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on this channel. That'd be fantastic if we can do that. If you're into stocks, we do have the Wealthsimple app link in the description where you can get $10 for free when you use the Wealthsimple. And I've been buying a lot of stocks recently, bought some Tesla, and just for fun, and also been buying some Bitcoin as well too with Shakepay. I don't have the link down below, but you can use Shakepay as well. That's been fantastic. And guys, thanks to all my subscribers so far, and thank you guys for watching this. And hopefully you guys are going to use whatever time left you're in the pandemic. If you're in the States, you're already partying right now, but if you're in Canada, you might be stuck. Use your time wisely. I don't care if that's a fitness regimen right now or you're gonna focus on making money. I'm just focused on making money. I'll do my push-ups as well, but focused on making money. And hopefully that's what it's all about, because I got some big plans for the channel in the future. Maybe I won't be here anymore in this house. There you go, a little bit of surprise if you made it to this end. Okay, thank you guys, bye.